When we talk about archaeologists, we often imagine them with shovels working on dry land. However, mysterious artifacts can be found not only on land, but also underwater. Sometimes these discoveries are made by ordinary people completely by accident. In this video, I will share the most amazing finds that were made by both archaeologists and ordinary citizens on the bottom of the seas and oceans. Heraklion. In the early 1930s, a pilot flying near the mouth of the Nile River noticed from the air what looked like ruins in the water. It took another 70 years before the site was thoroughly explored. These ruins are the ancient city of Heraklion. The city was destroyed by an earthquake. Its discovery surprised scientists. The destroyed city was discovered underwater 1,200 years later, a few hundred years ago BC. It was a thriving port of ancient Egypt. But in the blink of an eye, Heraklion disappeared. In the 1st century BC, a strong earthquake occurred that leveled houses, sank ships in the harbor, killed most of the city's inhabitants, forcing the rest to flee, leaving behind all their valuable property. After careful research, archaeologists made many amazing finds, including 64 ships in the flooded port. This is the largest cemetery of ancient ships in the history of archaeology. Also, huge steles and statues of pharaohs were raised from the seabed. Spanish galleon. The most valuable discovery on the seabed was made relatively recently in 2015. A Spanish galleon dating back to the early 18th century was discovered off the coast of Colombia. A galleon is a large warship of the time, but it is not the ship itself that makes this find unique, but its cargo. Before it sank, the vessel was carrying treasures, including gold, silver, and precious stones. Today, the value of this cargo is estimated at $17 billion. Like this. If you are also happy about such a find, in 1708, a galleon called the San Jose not only carried valuable cargo, but also had 60 cannons and nearly 600 crew members on board. As a result of a military clash off the coast of Colombia, during a battle, an explosion occurred in the holds and the ship sank. Of the several hundred crew members, only 11 were saved. In 2015, the Colombian military found the sunken vessel, but it remains at the bottom of the sea, while scientists work to find ways to carefully raise it to the surface. Politicians are arguing over which country owns the treasure. Colombia claims it belongs to them because their military found the vessel, while Spain insists it is their ship from the 18th century, and therefore the treasure should belong to them. The uluran ship. The uluran ship is a sunken vessel that was accidentally discovered by divers on the seabed near Antalya, Turkey, in 1982. This discovery caused quite a shock among scientists, and it took them more than 10 years to carefully raise all the remains of the ship to the surface. After that, they were able to conduct a full analysis of the vessel and found out that it was a Phoenician ship, presumably sunk around 1400 BC. One of the most interesting aspects of the find was that the contents of the ship were perfectly preserved, from the furniture to the numerous cargo items. The finds included ancient gold jewelry, copper ingots, weapons, and more. This allowed scientists to better understand the scale of international trade in 1400 BC, thanks to the efforts of a few random divers who just decided to go for a swim. By the way, write in the comments what you would do if you found gold at the bottom of the sea. Would you take it for yourself or give it to scientists? Write honestly, otherwise it will not be so interesting. Atlet Yam. Atlet Yam, off the coast of Israel on the Mediterranean Sea, is the site of an ancient settlement dating back to the Neolithic era, around 8000 BC. The reasons for the disappearance of its inhabitants remain a mystery. In the 1980s, scientists accidentally stumbled upon the remains of houses, wells, and many human skeletons on the seabed. This place is considered one of the best preserved prehistoric settlements. Judging by the archaeological finds, the locals were engaged in cattle breeding and fishing. One of the main attractions of Atlet Yam was a huge stone structure weighing 7 tons. Almost 30 years after the first finds, archaeologists continue to explore this mysterious place using modern underwater vehicles. Scientists currently believe that the settlement was flooded after the Ice Age, but by this time life at Atlet Yam had probably already come to an end due to an unexpected tsunami. Dwarka, not far from the coast of India, the lost city of Krishna, also known as Dwarka, is hidden on the ocean floor. It is one of the most explored and documented ancient cities that were swallowed by the waters. Archaeologists assume that the city is about 9,000 years old. At one time, it was the largest port city in the country. On the ocean floor, you can still find the remains of ancient structures and even streets where people once walked many thousands of years ago. The ruins were discovered 40 meters underwater in the Gulf of Cambay, the bay of the modern city of Dwarka, one of the 7 oldest cities in India. Acoustic studies have shown that the city has preserved surprisingly clear geometric shapes. The excavations revealed walls, paved roads, and sculptures made of limestone. There were no surviving buildings, but the outlines of the buildings can be traced along the roads. The city was once so beautiful that manuscripts called it nothing less than a fairy tale kingdom. Antikythera. In the 1st century BC, an ancient Roman ship sank off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. More than 100 years ago, the ship was accidentally discovered by a diver, and the discovery became one of the most significant in the history of underwater archaeology. The scientists who arrived found bronze and marble statues, including Apollo, Hermes, Odysseus, Diomedes with his horses, and a giant Hercules, as well as the mysterious Antikythera mechanism. This artifact can be considered an ancient computer, consisting of dozens of bronze gears and dials. According to experts, it was used to calculate the movements of celestial bodies and predict astronomical phenomena. In addition, a small bronze lyre or guitar, the remains of several beautiful sofas with bronze ornaments, coins, jewelry, ceramics, and unique glassware were found. During seabed explorations, it is sometimes possible to find not only sunken ships and mysterious objects, but also amazing natural phenomena. One of them is the icy finger of death, known in the scientific community as a brinacle. This phenomenon forms under the icy surface of the ocean and looks like an ice needle grows downwards, reaching the bottom and freezing all living organisms that are on the seabed at that moment. This is a truly impressive sight. Scientists have known about brinicles for about 50 years, but only recently, thanks to modern technology, have they managed to capture it on video. If it had not been filmed, many would simply not have believed it existed. Thank you for watching the video. Write in the comments which sea creature surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.